My husband got arrested in front of a packed charity banquet because I put his own photos on the big screen. He'd been parading around town using my business name like it was his badge. A week earlier, those same photos landed in my cloud by accident. That's when I realized my marriage wasn't just broken, it was evidence. I was Dana, 47, a photographer in Columbus. I shot normal life and pretended I was fine. My husband Glenn, 52, used to be solid. After a back injury, he turned into odd jobs, cash stories, and little digs like, "You still playing with those picture jobs?" That morning he leaned on my counter like he owned me. "Mind if I borrow your camera? Fishing at Buckeye Lake. Maybe bird shots." I should have said no. I said, "Batteries are charged. Don't touch my settings." He grinned. Wouldn't dream of it. Around noon, my laptop pinged. Cloud sync. I clicked the new folder, expecting water and fish. First shot, Glenn, nowhere near a lake. Next, a chain link fence and piles of scrap. Then heavy equipment. Then a man on his knees, hands tied behind him. Then Glenn again, smiling with a beer like it was a cookout. My stomach went cold. I didn't call him. I grabbed my laptop and drove to the police station with my hands shaking on the wheel. The desk officer did the polite, "This lady is dramatic" face until he saw the screen. His posture snapped upright. He disappeared and came back with a detective. Detective Harris studied the photos like they were a map. "Ma'am," he said, "this isn't just about your marriage anymore." He asked about Glenn's hauling, about a name I'd seen on a random receipt, about a second phone. Then he said, "Go home, act normal, don't confront him." So I did. I sat in my car outside my house, staring at the porch light he never fixed. Glenn came home smelling like machine oil and cheap perfume, telling me about a base the size of my arm. I nodded like a robot and stared at his clean fingernails. "Yeah, you didn't touch a fishing rod." That night I barely slept. The fridge kicked on and I flinched. The floor creaked and I held my breath. I kept thinking the same thing. He had no idea the camera ratted him out. The next day I didn't cry. I moved. I split accounts. I locked down my cloud. I changed every password into something Glenn would never guess. I drove my best lenses to my sister's house and told her, "Don't mention this to anyone." She whispered, "You're scaring me." I said, "Good." 2 days later, I found a flyer on the counter for a spring sportsman's banquet. Under sponsors, in clean bold letters, ***, Dana Mercer Photography, supporting sponsor, ***. He didn't just lie. He wore my name like it belonged to him. I was done explaining him. The banquet hall was full of flannel and fake smiles. Glenn strutted up front talking about hard work and doing right by your neighbors like he hadn't built his life on lies and my equipment. Then the organizer announced sponsors and said my business name out loud. Glenn turned and beamed at me, proud, like I was his prop. I stood up and walked to the microphone, heels steady. Then I took one slow breath and swallowed hard. Next I said, "Hi, I'm Dana and I run that business." After that I asked the organizer to turn on the projector. Again I watched Glenn smile, thinking I'd thank him. Then the first photo flashed, Glenn by a scrapyard fence. Next another photo showed stolen machines stacked like trophies. After that the kneeling man appeared, wrists pinned behind him. Then Glenn's beer shot popped up, grin wide and stupid. Again the room started murmuring, faces turning toward the screen. Next Glenn lunged forward saying, "These are just insurance photos, Dana." Then a man snapped, "Insurance doesn't come with Bud Light, buddy." After that 2 officers walked down the aisle, slow and sure. Next Glenn whispered my name, like it could rewind time. Then I said, "Don't even try it now, Glenn." After that the handcuffs clicked shut, loud as a gunshot. The next morning Harris called and told me those photos tied everything together. My lawyer filed, my account stayed mine. People whispered at the grocery store, but nobody said it to my face. Except one older woman at church. She squeezed my arm and said, "Honey, everybody knows who the fool was." A week later, I bought a new memory card, slid it into my camera, and hit format, clean, fresh, mine. I went to a park and photographed a grandpa teaching a little girl to fish, both of them laughing at the tangled line. Real life again. If you were in my shoes, would you have stayed quiet or would you have put it on the screen too? Drop your thoughts.